Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Hi there. Yeah, good to be back. And today, we're drawing from a really great SpeakDuo lesson. It's one designed to, really sharpen your command of the language.
Absolutely. And if you're looking to meet new people from around the world, maybe practice your English, become more confident, you should definitely go to SpeakDuo.com to explore more. Okay, so let's jump right into some really useful idioms and phrases today. These are fantastic for elevating your English, especially if you're aiming for that higher level of fluency, that nuance.
Exactly. Think of them as, upgrades for your communication toolkit. We're not just defining them. We're getting into the subtle feelings, the context they carry. It helps you express yourself with much more precision, I think.
Definitely. Okay, kicking us off.
Yeah.
Picture this. Now, on the surface, it's pretty clear an invitation to imagine something vividly.
Yeah.
The source example is great. Picture this. You're on a beach with nothing to do but relax. You can almost feel it, right? The sun, the waves.
You really can. And it's interesting how it feels different from just saying imagine this or visualize.
How so?
Well, imagine and visualize get you to form a mental image, sure, but picture this. It seems to set a more immersive tone, almost like storytelling.
Right. It pulls you in more.
Exactly. It's like you're asking the listener to actively co-create the scene in their mind. Imagine can be broader, visualize, maybe more focused, like on a diagram.
Okay.
But picture this kind of demands participation. It makes your listener part of the story.
That's a really good distinction, an active invitation. So great for engagement, whether you're just chatting or, say, in a professional presentation.
Definitely.
Like that IELTS-style question. If I say, picture this, you have one free day, what would you do? You might just say, oh, I'd spend it reading in a cozy cafe. Simple. Or maybe in a meeting.
Yeah.
Picture this. Our new product launches, it's a huge success. What does that mean for Q3?
Yeah.
It shifts the focus immediately.
It does, captures attention, makes things really dynamic.
Okay, so from setting a scene, let's shift to an internal feeling, a knot in one's stomach.
Yes. That feeling of anxiety, nervousness.
Totally. The example, I always get a knot in my stomach before public speaking. I think, a lot of us know that feeling, that physical thing.
It feels more intense than just feeling nervous, doesn't it? Or even having butterflies.
Yeah, I think so. How would you describe the difference?
Well, a knot in your stomach, it suggests something really physical, quite intense, often unpleasant, like a sense of dread or apprehension.
Right, a tightening.
Exactly. Almost visceral butterflies. They can sometimes have a little bit of excited anticipation mixed in,
Sure.
But a knot is pretty much always about worry or fear, real apprehension.
That intensity is key then, not just a fleeting moment. So maybe your boss asks about challenges. You could say, presenting to the board still gives me a bit of a knot in my stomach, but I'm working on it.
Good example. It's honest.
Or if someone asks, what usually gives you a knot in your stomach? You might say, oh, definitely important job interviews. I get that feeling every single time. It conveys that intense physical reaction much better than just saying, I get nervous.
It really does. Paints a vivid picture, builds empathy stored away.
Okay, moving from internal feelings to, situations, especially when they go wrong, fall apart.
Right, meaning to fail, stop working properly, or even break down emotionally.
The source example is classic. The project fell apart due to poor communication. Something many of us have probably seen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how it differs from, say, fail or collapse.
Okay.
Fail can be quite blunt, maybe sudden. Collapse often suggests something really dramatic, fast, maybe catastrophic.
Right, like a building collapsing.
Exactly. But fall apart, it often implies a more gradual disintegration, maybe because of internal weaknesses, communication issues, poor planning, something unraveling from the inside.
That makes sense, like it wasn't solid to begin with.
Sort of. And it works for emotions too, right? She fell apart after hearing the news. It suggests a gradual loss of composure, not just a single moment of breaking.
That's a crucial difference. The process of unraveling. So, describing a tough work situation to your boss.
Yeah.
You might say, look, the first attempt at this project kind of fell apart because the communication wasn't there. We learned a lot from that.
Yeah, shows. You learn from it.
Or in an interview, answering a question about a past challenge.
Yeah.
Well, there was a team project that fell apart because we couldn't agree on the core plan early on. Really highlighted the need for alignment. Shows you understand systemic issues, not just the outcome.
Exactly. It points to those deeper underlying problems.
Now, when things are starting to fall apart, that's when you might need to rally the troops.
Ah, great leadership phrase.
Yeah, to inspire or encourage a group, get them moving. The manager rallied the troops before the big product launch. It sounds quite dramatic, but you hear it a lot processionally.
It does sound strong, and I think it carries a more urgent, maybe more dramatic feeling than just motivate the team or encourage the group.
How so?
It's often used when things are tough, Morale might be low, focus is maybe drifting, there's a big challenge ahead.
Okay.
So rallying the troops is like a call to re-energize, to unite people for something critical. It implies a bit more effort than just a standard pep talk. It feels like a real leadership moment.
That's it, a decisive act. So talking about leadership skills with your manager.
Right.
After that setback, my main focus was to rally the troops and get everyone refocused on the main goal.
Shows initiative.
Or if asked, when did you last have to rally the troops? You could say, just before that huge client pitch, things were tense. So I had to rally the team, make sure we pushed through the final prep, felt aligned, and, energized.
Yeah.
Really shows you can lead under pressure.
Definitely communicates that ability to step up and galvanize people when it counts.
Okay, from rallying the team, let's look at something that often stops progress. Divisions. The phrase is bridge the gap.
Meaning to reduce differences, create connection or understanding.
The example sentence is perfect. This training will help bridge the gap between theory and practice. Super relevant everywhere.
It really is. And let's think about how it's different from just connect or maybe close the distance.
Okay, what's the nuance?
Bridge the gap seems to specifically target overcoming a separation, a disparity. Could be between ideas, groups of people, stages in a process.
Like theory and practice.
Exactly. It implies an active, constructive effort. You're building something, a bridge, to create understanding or unity where there was a clear division, a chasm, you might say.
That's a strong visual. Building a link where there wasn't one.
Yeah.
So in a work meeting, maybe about different departments,
Yeah.
we really need to find ways to bridge the gap between marketing and sales so the customer journey is seamless.
Perfect use case.
Or if asked, in what areas do we need to bridge gaps? A thoughtful answer could be, I think a big one is bridging the gap between formal education and the actual skills needed in the workplace. There's often a disconnect there. Shows proactive thinking about solutions.
Right. Highlights a collaborative approach to tackling these complex divides.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's talk about recognition with sound familiar.
Yeah. Used when something seems known, similar to something you've experienced before.
Like the example, that story sounds familiar. I think I've heard it before. So common, right? Almost automatic sometimes.
It is. And what's interesting here is the sensory aspect. Sound familiar specifically points to auditory recognition, something you've heard.
Ah, right.
Unlike seems familiar, which is much broader, could be something you saw, smelled, felt, anything. Rings a bell is similar, also auditory. But maybe sound familiar can feel a little more direct, maybe slightly more formal depending on context. Quite versatile.
That's a neat point about the auditory link. So you could use it at work, like, does this description in the new brief sound familiar to anyone? Pretty sure we discussed something similar last quarter.
Good way to check for shared memory.
Or if someone asks you, does working under pressure sound familiar to you? You can say, oh yeah, absolutely. It's almost a daily thing for me, so it definitely sounds familiar. It's just a natural way to confirm recognition.
Exactly. Understated, but effective for confirming you know what they're talking about.
Okay, now let's look at something that often gets in the way of progress. Hold someone back.
Meaning to prevent someone from achieving success, from moving forward.
The example is spot on. Fear of failure often holds people back from taking risks. A huge topic in personal development, careers.
Absolutely. And it's worth thinking about how hold someone back is different from just stop or impede.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Well, stop is usually temporary, right? A halt. Impede can mean slowing down generally, but hold back. It often suggests something more persistent.
Like an ongoing barrier.
Yeah. Either internal, like fear, or external. Something that restricts potential or prevents forward movement over time. It implies a lasting limitation on reaching your goals or capabilities, not just a quick pause.
That makes a big difference. It's not just a blip. So maybe talking to a mentor. I feel like my need for things to be perfect sometimes holds me back from just launching things and iterating.
Very relatable.
Or analyzing career challenges. If someone asks, what do you think holds most people back? You could say, honestly, I think it's often the fear of rejection that holds people back the most from really going after what they want. Show some real insight.
It does. Allows for a deeper look at those persistent barriers we all face sometimes.
All right, let's tackle another really intense one. Crushing pressure.
Oof. Yeah. Extremely intense stress or responsibility.
The example feels heavy just reading it. There's crushing pressure to meet the deadline this week. You can almost feel the weight.
You really can. And the word crushing is key here, isn't it?
Definitely.
You could say intense pressure or maybe a heavy burden, but crushing pressure. It paints a picture of being completely overwhelmed, almost physically weighed down.
Like it's unbearable.
Exactly. Suffocating. It goes beyond just intense to imply something debilitating, something that feels like it's breaking you down. It's not just strong, it feels destructive.
Wow, okay. Very vivid. So, describing a tough deadline to colleagues. Look, I know we're all under crushing pressure to nail this presentation for the client tomorrow.
Sets the tone clearly.
Or reflecting on past stress, if asked, have you ever felt crushing pressure? You might say, oh yes, during my university final exams, the weight of it all felt genuinely crushing. It conveys that extreme severity very effectively.
Helps others really understand the sheer weight of what you went through or are going through. Builds that immediate understanding.
Okay, our final idiom for today brings us back to feeling restricted. Stuck in a trap.
Right. Unable to move forward because of some limiting pattern or situation.
The source example is powerful. Many people feel stuck in a trap of routine jobs.
Yeah, that resonates with a lot of people, I think. And it's useful to compare it maybe to caught in a rut or facing a dilemma.
Okay, how do they differ?
Well, caught in a rut often just implies boredom, lack of change, maybe monotony. Facing a dilemma is about a difficult choice, but stuck in a trap that suggests something more confining.
More inescapable.
Yeah, almost. Like external circumstances or maybe a self-imposed pattern are actively preventing you from progressing or escaping. There's often a sense of negative consequences, feeling ensnared, rather than just being bored or having a tough choice.
That feeling of being truly constrained, unable to break free. So maybe in a team meeting about career paths, we need to make sure our junior team members don't feel stuck in a trap of doing the same tasks forever, that they see clear growth opportunities.
Good point for management.
Or if asked, what's a trap people often get stuck in? You could say, I think a common one is the trap of working incredibly long hours but not seeing any real progress or clear path forward. Highlights awareness of those limiting situations.
Exactly. Emphasizes that restrictive, disempowering feeling and makes you think about how to find a way out.
All right, that wraps up our exploration of these really impactful phrases. Fantastic stuff. But before we finish,
quiz time.
Exactly. Time to test your understanding. We've got a short quiz based on everything we just discussed.
Okay, here's how it works. We'll give you the question, then 3 multiple choice options, A, B, or C. Think about it, and feel free to hit pause if you need a second before we reveal the answer. Ready?
Let's do it. First question.
Yeah.
What does the idiom picture this encourage you to do in conversation?
Option A. To imagine a scenario as vividly as possible. Option B. To analyze facts before making a decision. Option C. To explain your real-life experience logically.
Take a quick moment if you need it. Pause now.
Okay, the correct answer is option A. To imagine a scenario as vividly as possible. Remember we talked about how picture this really pulls you into the scene, like imagining relaxing on that beach?
Got it. Okay, next up. When someone says they have a knot in their stomach, what are they likely feeling?
Your options are option A, a growing sense of excitement and thrill. Option B, a sense of nervousness or deep anxiety. Option C, a sharp reaction of sudden anger.
Think about that physical feeling. Feel free to pause.
And the answer is option B, a sense of nervousness or deep anxiety. It's that specific physical feeling of dread we discussed, like before public speaking.
Question 3. What does fall apart mean in a professional setting?
Option A, to emotionally detach from workplace politics. Option B, to reassess the plan for improvements. Option C, to suffer failure or break down unexpectedly.
Pause if you want to think it over.
Right. The correct one here is option C, to suffer failure or break down unexpectedly. Remember how we said a project might fall apart because of internal issues like poor communication? It signifies failure or disintegration.
Makes sense. Moving on, what does it mean to rally the troops before a big event?
Option A, to give orders and set deadlines for delivery. Option B, to quickly gather the team to handle logistics. Option C, to motivate and encourage a group into action.
What do you reckon? Pause the show if you need to.
The answer is option C, to motivate and encourage a group into action. It's all about inspiring the team, especially when facing a challenge, like that manager before the product launch.
Perfect. Halfway through. How is bridge the gap best understood in leadership communication?
Option A, to connect differing sides with shared understanding. Option B, to eliminate the need for compromise. Option C, to reinforce personal views during disagreements.
Take a moment to decide. You can pause now.
Okay, the answer is option A, to connect differing sides with shared understanding. Remember, it's about actively reducing differences and creating connection, like bridging that gap between theory and practice.
Next question. What does the phrase sound familiar imply in conversation?
Option A, it resembles something previously known or heard. Option B, the situation is likely a misunderstanding. Option C, the speaker wants reassurance from others.
Feel free to pause here.
And the correct option is A. It resembles something previously known or heard. We use it when something seems similar to a past experience or something we've heard before, like working under pressure sounding familiar.
Right. Only two left. If fear of failure is said to hold you back, what is being suggested?
Option A, it slows your productivity and weakens focus. Option B, it limits your ability to take risks or move forward. Option C, it removes your emotional attachment to outcomes.
What does hold you back really mean here? Pause if needed.
The answer is option B. It limits your ability to take risks or move forward. Remember, to hold back means something is preventing progress, like fear stopping someone from taking those important risks.
Okay, final question. What does the phrase crushing pressure describe in a work context?
Option A, a motivating factor that leads to peak focus. Option B, a useful stressor that boosts performance speed. Option C, a sense of responsibility that's emotionally unbearable.
Think about the intensity. Pause one last time if you like.
Okay, the final answer is option C, a sense of responsibility that's emotionally unbearable. This phrase conveys that extreme, overwhelming stress, like the crushing pressure of tight deadlines or those university exams we mentioned.
And that's the quiz done. Hopefully that helped lock in your understanding of these really useful English phrases. Mastering idioms like these genuinely adds depth and sophistication to your communication.
It really does. Using nuanced vocabulary isn't just about sounding impressive, is it? It's about precision. Being able to convey exactly the right shade of meaning, the right emotion, that's what makes communication powerful and helps you truly connect. It's key to advanced fluency.
Couldn't agree more. And look, if you're keen to practice using these phrases, maybe chat with others learning English, become more confident, remember to check out SpeakDuo.com.
Yeah, great place to practice.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive today.